All right. So today I'm going to be working on some AI art with Touchdesigner and Stable Diffusion. Um, I'm sure everybody's been seeing a lot of the AI stuff around, and yeah, it's very interesting. And so I thought I'd jump in to Touchdesigner, see what we can make with it, show you how it all works, and try and make some art. So let's go. So first off, what I'm using for the AI is Stable Diffusion, which is sort of like Midjourney and DALL-E, except that it's open source. So anyone can get the source code. I do have like a local version running on my computer, but it takes a lot more time. It's harder to link to Touchdesigner. There's a lot more complexity in that. And for simple, straight up, basic AI work, it's much easier to use web service, which is what Midjourney and Stable Diffusion, not Midjourney and DALL-E sort of run on anyway. So you're not really losing much by using a web server. So this is like an image that I've generated. I'll generate another one right now. And if I go into this component, I'm going to talk about this component in 1 second. I just hit generate image. I just change the seed. It goes loading, and there we've got a new image. I'm going to hit Control Z. Let me talk about this component first. This is provided. Wait, I've got all right. Let me. So this tutorial by Torrin Blankensmith is basically where this component is from. Really great job by Torrin, basically integrating a web. This is like a web call, so it's taking sending a information to a website, which then this way you send the text prompt, and then it comes back with the image. And he's built that all into a nice little component here that we can easily generate AI images with. So what am I going to do with it? So I think there are, and also you can do image to image. So let me fit this into, so 1280 by 720. So I got a noise here. I'm going to change it to monochrome, change the resolution. I'm working at 1280 by 720. And let's just get a random seed here. And so if I plug this into the component and I hit generate image, generates the same image. You have to hit use image to image. So now it'll take the input image and run the Stable Diffusion algorithm over that. So loading. And now you get, this isn't great, but you get a result based on Stable Diffusion of the image that's been input. So the first thing I'm going to try is I want this to be, when I say generative artwork, I mean, I want it to be like making new artworks constantly and interestingly. So I have to solve the problem that it takes a while. So what I could do is I could generate multiple landscapes all at once, and then sort of fade between them, or I could use image to image, and then start using that as a basis and fading between the different landscapes. I had another idea here, which I find sort of interesting, is if I take a small part of the image that I've already got, so maybe a bit more of an interesting part there, down and down there. Okay, so that's a part of the image. And did I change this to it's just landscape, right? So I'm going to say I've got another instance set up here, and if I say landscape rocks, so that's the prompt. And let me do a new seed. Why don't I try the same seed as this, which I had copied here. That in there. Let's go pulse. So now we're taking a small part of this image and we are running image to image over it. And now we've got rocks, but based on this input, which didn't really work too well for me because these rocks, 1280 by 704. What? Okay, I guess we're at 1280 by 704. So my idea would be to like, you can take a small part of the larger generated image that we have up here and then do image to image over that. And then you get something that you could then composite over. So like translate this over and make it fit down here. But unfortunately, and then you could like soften out the edges. But these rocks are like way too uniform. So I'm just going to go to straight landscape. Should be in the similar style. I'll regenerate this. Still loading. All right. So now I've got a different, all right, so this is good. Now I've got a different landscape based on the same landscape. And we could work out how to combine that in certain ways. So if I like put a ramp, this level is at full. So if I put a ramp, change it to vertical. So I'm just trying to blur out the top. So, well, I guess the top and the side. So making a sort of mask over things. So I want this bottom to be fully white and fully alpha of 1, and then keep that up to there. And this top can be a value of 0 and an alpha of 0. So now we've got, just want a more gradual transition. Then if we now change this to the composite, get in there. Got to sort of blend into here. That works. Then we put another ramp. This one's going to be horizontal. Same thing. Push this up here. That. So this is sort of lighter, I think, than the other one. So we got to bring it down. Yeah, all right. That's what I've done. The value on these should be up high. If we pull this brightness back up, there, we've got a nicely blended section of another AI onto this one. So let me try a different seed again and see if this is still gonna look similar. Okay, that absolutely works. So I think this could make for a very interesting artwork if we keep doing this like image to image over different portions. So I'm gonna build this out into a little artwork to start off with. And I wonder if we can just have like a constant movement between multiple of these kinds of artworks. So I'm gonna even overlap them a bit, I think. Just thinking about how to do this. So we have our whole lower quadrant put together. So let me just see what we're working with if I switch these out to the blended versions. All right. That's interesting. So now what we might think about is how we're going to keep changing between these versions. So what I want to do is I want to have smooth movements between all of these seeds. I want to have interesting seeds coming through and then crossfading between each other. So we should be able to overlap the time too. So it's like, well, let me just jump into it and then I'll show you what I mean. First of all, I'm going to make a noise. No, let's just build the prototype first. All right, collapse this. So we're going to have two of these. Then I'm going to have do. Going to have a matte these two and then like a noise to animate between them. Yeah, but this is just going to be noise. But this noise is going to determine the morph between the two. I'm just going to have it as RGB. Monochrome is going to be on, less harmonics, period. Actually, maybe more harmonics. Let's try that. And then we're going to animate this with abs. Okay. Too fast. Red. Now I've got to pick another seed here. Pulse. What this looks like. We have two very similar looking. Here's a question. Does more guidance mean... I feel like if we go less guidance, if we go like 4, we're going to get more disparate results. Pulse. To 2. 2 guidance. Leads. Pulse. Okay, that works. So now I want this noise here to be a little bit more dramatic. We change the exponent. We actually get to see those movements flowing through. Probably a little bit too much there. What I might also do is put a composite down because we want to sort of follow the contours of what's going on here. So if we composite these, maybe we go difference. Yeah, see, I'm trying to get like the lines, the details, everything that's going on here. And I'm going to displace this noise. Displace the noise by this. Unfortunately, this is really dark, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another noise. This might be too many noises to do this many times, but have this looking up there. Output just the noise. Monochrome off. And I need to reduce the harmonics and increase the period a little. No, not too much. Ooh. Place it only a little bit. Ooh. So now this motion is a little bit more natural as we move between the two. I wonder if I even more decrease the guidance to just 1. Because I do sort of want it to be making its own choices. No, I shouldn't. I should change the seed. All right. I like these a lot more because we've got like little trees and stuff happening. So that is a big plus. Though I do sometimes wonder if we put the guidance really high, if we're going to get something even more interesting. Oh, it certainly got something more interesting. Gonna try a couple of these. I just want to see what kind of like always gonna get really stylized things. High guidances. That's interesting. I think it tends to depart more, so let's stick the guidance at like 10. I can go in and like randomize all these values eventually. Like, so now we just got to work out how to transition. Let's just see how this looks in context. So this one, it just feels too far away from what, and that's really close to what we've got, the colors that we've got, the everything that we've got. So I'm going to build a system here. It's going to have, we're going to do it like this. We're going to go customize component. So eventually I'm going to have like some kind of big computer system controlling how I switch when each new iteration comes. So I want to put a toggle, not a toggle, a pulse. A pulse in. So this is just going to be new image. Now, if I put down a parameter, chop, new image, and so I've got to pull this up. Now, custom page, we have the new image pulse, and it does nothing currently because I've got to make sure it's set up right. So what I want to do is I want to crossfade between a cached version of the previous image. So this is spitting out a new AI generated image. Then they're going to cache that. So as soon as I'm going to put a switch here because I'm going to have to switch between these two generators. Okay, so we go new image. What this is going to do is going to go into a trigger. So this trigger is going to say to cache a new image. Change this trigger. It's got 0 attack. No sustain, no decay. It's basically just a timer. So it's going like, when I hit this, it's going to last for, let's say, how long is the fade going to be? Let's say 5-second fade between the two. So bang, trigger. So this is going to be not active. I'm basically just using this. It's going to be 2. So it's only saving 2 frames because I basically only need to save 1 frame. And this is going in here. And got to reverse it. So 1 minus. But like if I put a noise, it's moving. That's most of the time, but as soon as I hit new image, it freezes. Actually, I don't want it to do that. I want it, so we've got this output on here. So let me grab a null. So as soon as we hit new image on generate image on this pulse, it goes to loading, goes to 0. So right when we have the new image that I want to transition over. So actually, I'm going to use this to trigger the crossfade. This cache is still going to do what it does. Guess we're going to put in a crossfade. And I have I'm just going to do this as a normal fade, but I also have like components built where I've got like an inbuilt noise crossfade. So instead of crossfading and just like in alpha, it's going to crossfade different parts of the image at different rates, which is a bit more interesting. I'm just going to get the core functionality of this down. Let's organize this a bit better. Okay. Let's look at the sequence of events. As soon as I click this pulse, I want to hold an image and switch to 1. So let me just put in a black image, type in black, a constant. All right, like this, make it orange or something, or red. Okay. So red is going to be like the old version. So immediately I want to switch to the red. So I want to go straight to 0. So maybe we're going to put in a count. This count is going to take this. Actually, no, this is going to reset the count to 0. This is put in a null here to make things a bit easier. Null is going into the count. No, the count null is not going into the count. The count is resetting to 0. And then there's also going to be, after this is going to be a filter. So when this is done, if I generate a new image, it goes to 1. But what we want it to do is the opposite of that. So I'm going to put in a math. Zero to 1 is going to be 1 to 0. And that's going to go into the count. So let's check our sequence out here. This null is going to be linked to this pulse. So we also need to get a new seed each time, so I've got to change that. But right now, let's just test this out. Where did my parameters go? Hit the new image. So we've got 0 on there. And then we've got a new image, and then that goes to 1. And so that's going to drive the crossfade. And let me just see the pulse again, because I just want to make sure this filter is getting reset. Because we don't want a big like movement down at the same time. Put a null at the end there. And let's export this to the cross. So yeah, now it's on our new image. And now we hit new image again. That jumps directly to the red, then crossfades after it's finds out it's done. That's perfect. Make this filter a bit longer. maybe 5 seconds. This is just going to be, let's say, 10 seconds. It doesn't really matter because it's going to get a new one each time, but I actually put it a bit higher, 15 seconds. The last step is to give this a new seed so that it generates a different image each time. And for that, we just put in a, how are we going to do this? A good way to do this is a pattern, and it has random non-repeating integers. And the length is going to be one sample, and then this will get, this is randomizing between 0 and 1, and the range is going to be between 0 and 100,000. What's this actually go up to, the seed? Yeah, 100,000. So now every time I trigger this, I get a random integer, non-repeating, between 0 and 100,000. So null at the end. So it's gonna. All right, so all of that. Let's test out this system. We don't need this constant anymore because the cache should. So we've got our current image and we want it to be cross-fading to the next image. Put that up here. Hit new image. And loading. Generates a new image, and then this should crossfade into the new image. Perfect. And let's just try this one more time. New image. See a change because I didn't export this. This has got to reference the seed. Try again. New image. The seed changes. Perfect. So now I got to think of some more interesting things to do with this. Well, first of all, let me just check. How much? Oh, I've used about 30 cents worth this whole time. Because you have to pay for all these GPU calls. But it's really, really cheap. So I'm not too mad about it. Once again, I'm just going to get new image and new image and new image. And see, this is interesting. Now we've got like some trees and stuff coming through here. Question is, which one's got the trees? The middle one. This guy. If I zoom in on these trees, are they higher resolution here? Zoom in on this tree. So obviously got slightly higher resolution here, which is something I'd like to fix in the end. First thing, let's just quickly try a new seed. So I'm just gonna save this seed. 614. Let's try our old seed, which had a sort of similar thing going on. This is going to change to like some trees or something. Okay. And now we've got to start regenerating all these. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. I really like that actually, especially this one. These little details look interesting. Let's fix our resolution problem. Now let's try something different, like landscape, ocean, ocean. Let's say storm. Let's check landscape, ocean, storm, and generate that. Gonna look really mismatched with our. All right, this. Let's try it. I think these waves are sort of interesting, so let's give this a shot. So we're gonna go new image, new image, and new image. Let's go straight back again. Go new image, new image, and new image. Sort of sucks. Gonna give it one more chance at generating a good-looking storm. Then we're moving on. Okay, landscape painting, ocean storm. These are very photo. Ooh, that's interesting. Clouds are a bit messed up. I think I like any of these oceans. Ocean, storm. Okay, now this could wield something interesting. I don't know which artist it has on here, but we've got some interesting colors, interesting things going on. So our little image to image generators should make something sort of cool. The interesting thing is that they're generating landscapes, right? Could be cool. Gotta start saving these, don't I? Put a movie file out at the end. All right, movie file out. I'm just gonna change this to image. We just really need JPEGs, don't we? Unique suffix. Gonna bind keyboard in 9. save. Time I hit 9, get a new image. Let me try a different seed of this because I sort of like this. Similar to the other one. Painting, ocean, storm. Let's get it. We don't need painting. Let's just go high detail. Well, that improved things. I just got to search around for another. That's cool. All right, now we've got little little Rembrandt people in there. Actually, no, one more. That's cool. We've got some like shipwrecky sort of things. We've got a lot of clouds, but oh. All right, now the thing that we also have to do is get our prompt adjusted. So this is the prompt that I've got: landscape, Rembrandt, high detail. Oh, landscape still in there. I wonder if that should be removed. Go in and paste these into. So these are just taking landscape. So I mean, I wonder if we go get rid of landscape and Rembrandt, and we just go high detail, ocean, storm, box, shore. We go painting. This is the prompt that we use for all of it. There. Getting some interesting results. Look at these. Wonder if one of these should have like sailors in it. Like if we have like high detail painting, I wonder if I can say ship, but only in like one corner. So there's always going to be one corner where there's this like shipwreck happening. Now I've got a shipwreck. Amazing. What's the issue here is that all the proportions are messed up. Like, lots of shipwrecks. Wait, what are these shipwrecks? What do these images look like generated? Nice. I love the rocks becoming shipwrecks. Doesn't look like much of a shipwreck. No, the shipwreck didn't go into that one. Oh, what are those artifacts? Oh, they're these artifacts. Okay. Jump in here. Where are you still? Are you still? Oh, this one's still a landscape. Broke everything and fixed everything. That's great. So let's just jump in and generate a new image. See, this image I think is actually quite average. Like, that's average, but then the detail that comes out of it is really nice. So let's see how this works. This is all work. Nice. But what we're going to want to do, we're going to just get a LFO pulsing these new, making new variations as we go, because that's more fun. Let me just check something. System. So we should have a solidly slow movement across here. Yeah. So it just morphs slowly. I love these little shipwrecks. What are they? It's funny because when you're doing this sort of like image to image over the other image, it's like the perspective shift gets a little bit messed up. Okay, let me once again get a new. Wait, base 7. Does this work to get a new image? Yeah. It's interesting. These fucking shipwrecks. Amazing. Wait, I gotta save that. It's really cool. Okay. Fuck, that's so good. So what I want to do is have this transition between these massive images be like really long, like maybe 2 minutes. So this is going to be 120 seconds because I want it to slowly morph between the big one and the small one. So let's just try out a couple of ways to do that. Best way, actually, I've already got it. Already got one. That's multiple input. Just need a standard noise crossfade. It's funny how the different colors end up syncing with the output finally. Like the output moves to a new color, then you've got the inputs changing. Let's try these two. So when this crossfades, shouldn't have saved it like that. This filter is going to be insanely long. It's going to be, well, it can't be 2 minutes, so we're going to go 110 seconds. Let's go 100 seconds. So let's try it out with the noise crossfade. This is going to crossfade using okay. I think it's time for a new prompt because this one is not so good. Let's try like a jungle. And so I'm a bit interested to see which kind of images come through from this. Still got, all right, this is just generated a new one. And now we've got a little jungle coming through. And that looks terrible. So we're going to have to find a way to transition between styles like really slowly. Because that ain't it. But let's just generate our new image for the main one and hope we get something good. All right, that'll do. That's a good start anyway. So I'm just gonna watch this as it comes through. I wonder if there's a way to go like image to image on the final output, cache the final output, do image to image on that for the first time you change style, and then you go back in. This full. Because like this way of transitioning is awful. That is that is definitely interesting. Um, I think I can improve the composition a bit though. If I like add landscape jungle, maybe we don't need god rays. It didn't even give me any god rays, so I'm just gonna, if we go jungle waterfall and stream, waterfall stream high detail. All right, because there's so much of like a disconnect. I guess this section worked well in the image to image, but let's try that again. So we'll generate a new image for our background, and then our foreground will take a bit of time to catch up because that's how it works. But all right, what did we get? Okay. I find that composition a bit more interesting. I find that really cool, actually. It's sort of confusing trees for waterfalls, and this should make a good transition. So wait, let me get back here as we start transitioning between our two. I still have to work on this transition because like this color coming through looks really ugly. It'll be fine once it's like it's done, but right now as it comes through it's pretty bad. Yeah, that looks confusing as all hell. It needs to be more displaced by the whole the background. Okay, there we are. And we've got some nice other details by our foreground here. If we compare to, that's just the pure background, and this is with the foreground detailing coming through. Can definitely see the resolution difference between the background and the foreground, which is a bit annoying, but there's not much that we can do about that. Oh, all right, we just had a new section come in here, which is sort of nice. Right now, so what I'm going to do now is just start like adding details into these foreground generation segments. So they're over here. And so I wonder if I can do like maybe on the left. Have I got this laid out left, right, center? That's center. That's left. Yeah, left, right, center. All right, so on the left, I want to put like a city of some kind. Jump into this guy and we go like landscape. All right, we don't need, oh, we've still got the God rays in here. Landscape, jungle, city, like Mayan, uh, ancient. And we can copy the, oh, did we just generate one? No. This one, same thing. Jungle city, Mayan, ancient, high detail. We don't need that space in there. Nice. And so then on the center, I'm gonna put like I'll add the waterfalls, and the center will just have basically the same prompt as so here. So I'm just gonna copy this landscape, jungle, waterfall. Actually, no, we'll get rid of the landscape because it's going to be like a detail of the landscape, not a main morphing of the landscape. So landscape, jungle, God rays, hi. Thank you, Dr. Christian Heim, who is of no relation to me, despite having the same last name. It's a very common last name in Germany. Oh, we've got our Mayan city coming through. This is really cool. So there's our little Mayan city coming through in the bottom. We've got like mountains over here, which is sort of cool. All right, what was I doing? This was going to be in the center. In the center, we're just going to have exactly the same prompt as the, all right, it's going to be, but not landscape. It's just going to be jungle, waterfall, streams, high detail, and landscape, jungle, waterfall, stream, high detail. Okay, getting more Mayan city coming through. That's the center. That should come through in this area once it gets through. Um, and then I don't know. Maybe there should be some kind of. Let's see what this is. Oh, that's the water. Jungle foliage, tigers, high detail. Maybe we go like. All right, wait. There's a new one coming through. There might be a tiger. I would be very happy if there was a tiger. Oh no, it's come through and there's no tiger. But let me just like replace this with animal. So what I might also think about doing is, I think it's about time to change the background. I'm just gonna adjust this noise crossfade a bit because when the new background comes in, I haven't been liking how it's coming in. So I'm gonna get rid of the blur, keep the displace, and put these summits back up to 5. So, all right, let's get a new background image. So it's loading now. I was going to make us all wait to see what it turns out like as we're just watching it, but I can't resist having a quick look. So that's the new background that's coming through. Quite similar. This one's interesting because it's got a lot of foregrounding. So that's going to be, I guess. All right, so see here, this is where it's coming through, and it looks terrible. So once again, I'm going to have to work out how to fix that. But let's just see it come through. I wonder if I could like have a paintbrush simulation paint it through, or like, I don't know, something like that. Oh, we've got a person in here. We keep one ancient and one futuristic. That could be cool. Or maybe we have like a steampunk Mayan city. I'm really disappointed by the lack of animals. I don't understand why it's not generating animals. It seems to be just generating foliage. Um, is this the one? Oh no, this is the streams and waterfalls and everything. Loving this little futuristic city here. I get because like my main problem with the current AI generation systems is that you can't really work with them in real time. And so what I'm trying to do is create like an overlapping series of AI generations so that you can be like real time changing things and real time, like it all looks seamless. This crossfade I think is working a lot better. I can't really even see where it is. All right, there's obviously a part of it. But I didn't really notice these trees coming in at the top. Turned out quite nice. 'Cause I'm All right, it looks cool now. Actually, this is a good one to save, to be honest. But I guess that sort of looks like a cave, but I don't really like how it's turning out. I'm loving my futuristic Mayan city, though. That is a gem. Jesus. I just it's probably just not going to fit in well with the thing. That looks super cool, but it's going to be like jungle Mayan pyramid. Okay, so let's try and get a little bit esoteric. So that's going to be our background. Let me just put this in the comment box. So let me make some variations of this so that I can quickly move over to the new one. In the meantime, we can get a new image in the background. But Cyberpunk City on the Wasteland, Gurney and Frank Lloyd and something like that. Monet, style of him. All right, first of all, let's adjust this spelling. Hyper detailed, sharp focus, soft light. So now we can, let's go. These are going to be the variations that I put down the bottom. So we go oil painting. Oops, I already changed it. All right. Better quickly. Okay. All right. I guess we're jumping into the cyberpunk city really quick. All right. This is cool though. We're gonna actually leave the jungle city prompt so we can have like this 1/4 of it that is like a Mayan city or something. But this is gonna be, I'm gonna change definitely. Oh no, I'll keep the monolith in the mega structure. And then this is just gonna be the straight prompt. This is sort of cool because you can see the cyberpunk city morphing. Obviously this is not cool, but this, you can see that it's already picked one and it's like changing its color of the Mayan city into the cyberpunk city style. It's quite cool. We're gonna change this away from jungle to maybe not this one. It doesn't need to be jungle. I'm gonna go dystopian Mayan pyramid high detail. Let's go monolith megastructure high detail. I'm also going to have to change the art style, I think. Some of these. Get our prompt. Painting by James Franklin. I feel like I want less Monet in this whole thing. This reflection on the river looks pretty cool though. Like ideal. Default. This one is the megastructure. High detail painting by. Gotta change these artists. Same on this one. I've definitely got to have a better way of updating the. Though I've got to say, being at Art Basel this year, so much of the work was like so referential of other artists that it's like may as well be like AI. Like you could have used AI to make a lot of the artwork that was at Art Basel. Um, New York futuristic high detail. I think the issue here is keeping all the art styles together. I'm just gonna make it do a quick regeneration of all of them.